Hello, crafty friends, and welcome to my channel, Create with Kalia. I'm Kalia. Today I'm going to be working on scrapbooking these photos. I have three 4x6, three 3x4, and one 3x3. Today's video is also the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team's monthly challenge. Our challenge this month is to twist a kit. I'm going to be using the Exploring Nature Scrapbooking Workshop Kit and twisting it to fit my layout better. This sticker sheet is included with the workshop kit. The next 2 pages are the die cuts that are included with the kit. The instructions in the kit will show you where you place these die cuts as you're building your scrapbooking layouts. The workshop kit also comes with a partial pack of the Nature Walk Designer Series paper. I love that first paper with the ledger. And I also really love the second paper with the text that's on the second side. We also have a beautiful watercolor paper with a nice grid on the back of that. That's going to be perfect for masculine layouts. And finally, we have a piece of paper. This is exclusive to the workshop kit, so you will only find it within the workshop. This is a second piece of paper that is also exclusive to the workshop kit, and you'll only find it in the workshop. Last, we have all of the cardstock that's been included for this workshop to help you build the workshop layouts. All of these pieces of cardstock are the 12x12 two-tone cardstock that are exclusive to Stampin' Up's color palette. And we also have 4 pieces of white willow cardstock. The workshop kit includes all of the cardstock that you will need to create the layouts that are pictured. And finally, we have some photo place holders so that if you don't have your photos ready, you can use those to show what size and where your photos belong while you're creating your layouts. The workshop kits also include full color instructions with cutting instructions and instructions on how to assemble your layouts, along with an optional featured technique which you can use if you want to elevate your pages. I'm using this design for today's layout and I'm ready to get going. The first thing I'm going to do is to work on the optional technique. I'm going to be cutting some of the pecan pie cardstock that's going to be used to create the mats for 2 of my photos. I start by bringing in a water spritz pen from my stash. Now this is from close to my heart, however, Stampin' Up! Does have a similar spritz pen and I will have that linked below in the description box. I'm going to then crumple up the cardstock. What we're doing is what's called creating a leathering technique by crumpling up the paper. I then pull it back out and smooth it out a little bit. I can look and see if there are any spots that look like they're still really flat or didn't get crumpled enough. And then I'm going to spritz those again and re-crumple the paper so that I'm getting creases everywhere and don't have any flat spots. If I do still have a flat area, I can just crumple that and take little bits of it to crumple it up more to get more of the leathered look that I'm looking for in doing this technique. I'm also going to show you how to elevate these even further, so make sure you stay tuned. I can soak up some of the water overspray off of my mat by putting it directly onto the paper as well. This is one of those techniques that's easy and fun to do and can really help you elevate the look of your cardstock, and there's also no wrong way to crumple up the paper. Going back to the layout design, the first twist that I'm going to make is to not use this pattern paper. I'm instead going to use this brown paper. I'm ready to bring in the base paper of the layout, and now I'm bringing in the brown that I'm deciding to use instead of using the grid. Remember that the Secret C base page is one of the exclusive papers to this workshop kit. The second and third twists that I'm making to this workshop are that I'm using landscape-oriented photos instead of portrait orientation. And I'm going to swap the orientation on the layout and have my 2 largest pictures on my left-hand page rather than on my right-hand page. I've got the Secret C base pages and then made sure I put adhesive around the edges of the brown paper and I've glued it down to the base page. And now I'm ready to start working more on the leathering technique. I wanted to show you that if you bring in a darker ink color, you can add some ink to the leathered paper, and that will make some of the creases pop even more. This is definitely an optional technique or a way to use the leathering in a different way. And I wanted to just show it for the purposes of this video, even though I'm not going to actually include that in my layout. I've brought in my Cricut Easy Press Mini and I'm using it on the lowest setting to flatten my paper back out just a little bit. This is also optional when doing the leathering technique, and here's what the 2 different pieces look like compared next to each other. I chose to do that for my layout just because I wanted the paper to lie a little bit flatter on my page. If you don't have the Cricut Mini, you also can use an at-home iron on a low setting with no steam to get the same effect. Here I'm showing you how I'm starting to twist the layout some more. So the big piece of cardstock that goes across the bottom, I am still going to include that. And because I've done the leathering technique on my photo mats, I am going to use some of the green liquid glue to make sure my photo mats will stay on my layout where I place them. One of the nice things about using a liquid glue is that if I don't get my placement quite right or my spacing quite right, I can slide the picture just a little bit while I get my placement correct. And then the adhesive will dry and these papers shouldn't move as they stay in my scrapbook. I put a block on top of my photo for a moment to help the glue better adhere to the page, and then I move on to starting to create my right-hand page of this layout. And this is my next twist. I've rotated the page 90 degrees, and then I'm using the same placement as the design for the photos on this page. I am using the same size photos as the design calls for this page. My next twist is to change the placement of this sticker that came off of the sticker sheet. Instead of having it run across just a small part of the cardstock that's at the bottom of the page and on the left-hand side only, I'm having it run across the entire portion of cardstock that's along the bottom. In order to do that, I've had to cut the sticker into smaller portions and then strategically place them behind my photos, about 1/8 of an inch down from the top of the piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to start bringing in some of the die cuts and stickers that are called for in this layout by the design. The first die is this Great Outdoors die, and I really like it for this layout. However, I'm not 100% certain that I'm going to end up using it because I do have a different title in mind for this layout. Next, I am going to bring out the tree die cuts that are also part of this set. And one thing I should point out is that on the back side of the die cut sheets, the die cuts are labeled with which project from the workshop they belong to help make finding your die cuts much easier. I'm bringing in this die cut, which is part of the original design. However, I'm not going to end up using it because it is the same pattern as the brown paper that I chose to use on this layout. Every workshop kit does contain the materials that you need to make 3 different scrapbooking layouts, so you do have a great value if you're purchasing one of these workshop kits. I think that these workshop kits are also great for beginners because they're using die cuts and stickers rather than stamps and ink to create beautiful layouts. But as an experienced scrapbooker, I also love the kits for myself because they help me put a lot more layouts together really quickly. And if I choose, I can make them more challenging for myself by using some of the optional techniques or by doing what I'm doing for these layouts and switching things up a little bit so it better fits either my style or my photos. I've started playing around with the placement of the dies and bringing in some of the stickers from the sticker sheet to start creating my embellishment clusters. I know that I'm going to have my clusters in the 3 areas that are currently pictured, and I plan on using the big blank space on the far left of my left page as the location for my primary title. I'm still considering using the Great Outdoors die cut as a secondary title on my right-hand page, but I'm not 100% sure yet that I'm going to end up using it. I think I'm going to start working on getting my title placed because I want to make sure I know how that looks on the page before I add any more stickers. I'm going to bring in my alphabet a la mode dies and use those to create my title. A list of all of the products that I use to create this layout will be available in the description box below, so make sure to check that out once you're done watching the video. Next, I'm going to bring in this piece of pattern paper that is part of the Nature Walk Designer Series paper collection that coordinates with this workshop. The pattern in this paper matches the pattern in the die cut trees, so I thought it would be perfect for my layout. As you can see, I've used the title Search and Rescue because these pictures are of a search and rescue operation that I was able to take part in when I worked for the National Park Service. This day was probably one of the most fun days I have ever had during my work career. The national park was asked if we could help the State Highway Patrol with a training exercise for 2 of their bloodhound search and rescue dogs and their handlers. In part, they were interested to see how the dogs would deal with some scents that they may not have experienced before, in particular the bison that roam the park. As you can see, my picture on the far right-hand page at the bottom is a bison that was far off in the distance from where I was on this day. Because if you have ever visited one of the national parks that has bison, you know that you do not want to get too close to them. My particular job on this day was to hike about a mile and a half into the park and then wait for the dogs to come find me and my hiking partner. There were two dogs that they were working on training on this day, and once they found us, we were handed a treat by their handler, and we had to let the dogs jump on us and then hand them the treat so that they knew that they had done a good job. The pictures that I've included for this layout are of some of my coworkers who also participated in the exercise, a map of the area where we were located, and then some pictures from when the dogs were actually able to locate us, along with a picture of mine and my hiking partner's backpacks, the bison that I said was far off in the distance, and a view of the landscape where we got to spend our day. Because I wanted to include all of the pictures that I listed, I am going to be using a flip flap for one 3x4 photo, and the back side of that will end up being my journaling, and then that will sit on top of the picture of the two backpacks. So that is one more twist I'm making to this layout by adding an additional picture using a flip flap. I love that the sticker sheet that's included with this workshop kit has a lot of different outdoor stickers and that there are a variety of sizes that I can use to add elements to my embellishment clusters. While I'm playing with the placement of different things, I am also looking back to the pictures of the other two layouts to make sure that I'm not going to use a major element of one of the other workshop layouts. I'm happy with how my left-hand page embellishment cluster has come together, and now I'm going to also bring in some earthy matte dots just to finish off the embellishment cluster. These are not included as part of the workshop, so they are optional, but I feel like they help bring my embellishment clusters together, so I'm going to add them to my layout. As you can see, I used several of the elements that were included in the sketch in my left-hand embellishment cluster, but I changed the placement of some of the elements and brought them closer together. And I did add a few elements that were not included in the original embellishment cluster. I am very happy with how it turned out, though. My second embellishment cluster on the top left of my right-hand page are again some of the same elements that were included in the design, but my placement is different, which is another twist I've made to the sketch. Part of the reason that I'm placing them in a different location is that I want to make sure that I have my 3 points that will help me create my visual triangle. The sticker that I currently have in my hand says view from the top, and I love that sticker for this layout because I'm thinking about placing it right by the two pictures that literally were the view from the top of where we were located for the day that we were participating in this training exercise. If you've watched my videos before, you know that creating the embellishment clusters is the part of putting together a scrapbooking layout that always takes me the longest. I like to play around with the different die cuts, stickers, and if I'm stamping stamps to create embellishment clusters that work well with my pictures and complement them because they have something to do with the pictures that I've included in my scrapbook layout. As a reminder, this is a monthly challenge with the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team, so make sure you stay tuned till the end so that you can access the playlist and see how the other designers interpreted the challenge of twisting a kit. And if you've not already done so, I sure would appreciate if you would like this video and make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the new and upcoming layouts that I have planned. You'll also want to hit the notification button so that you are alerted as soon as I post a new video. At this point, I'm pretty happy with how all of my embellishment clusters are looking, so I'm going to add in some more of the matte gems in my second and third embellishment clusters, and then I think I'm ready to call this page done. I am going to bring the flip flap back in one more time so that you can see what that looks like once it's placed over the backpack picture. And with that, I think that this layout is complete. I love how easy this layout was to put together using the workshop as the basis. But I also love that I'm able to twist a workshop so that it works better for the pictures that I have available and the overall look that I want of my layout. Here's one more look at how the original pages were designed for this workshop and how I chose to change them for this challenge. As a reminder, here's the playlist where you can check out what the other designers created for this challenge. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and craft on.